Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be going through and decluttering my face palette collection. So this is going to be anything that has, more than just a few shades of things that you would wear on your face. So we're gonna go through them. I know that there are a few that I don't love anymore and I think could just be kind of passed on from my collection. So I wanted to do it on film for you so you can see my collection and you can see, a couple of things that I'm getting rid of. By the way, I was wearing sunglasses outside. That's why my makeup is kind of faded right there. But anyway, I hope that you enjoy. Definitely let me know what you think in the comment section below. And if you want to see my face palette collection and declutter some with me, then just keep watching. All right, so this one right here, I definitely will be keeping. This was a limited edition palette, I believe. It's the Afterglow. What's great about this is it has small sizes of 5 of their products. 3 of them are their highlighters, 2 of them are their blushes, and I don't have any of these shades as singles. So I definitely was excited to get this and I do use it quite a bit. So let me show you what they look like inside if I can open it. So there you go. You can see right here, Moonstone is probably my perfect highlight shade from BECCA, other than maybe Champagne Pop. I mean, this one really is the perfect shade for my skin tone. It's such a beautiful color. And this formula, BECCA's formula is just the best. I really do love their formula. And then these two right here, so this is Rose Gold and this is Topaz. And Rose Gold I can really just use as a blush topper, and then Topaz a little bit more of like a bronzer topper. So I don't use these quite as much, but they're beautiful. And if you have a darker skin tone, then these are great. If not, you can just use them like I just said. And I do like them, but obviously I use Moonstone more than I do these. And the blushes are awesome. This is Wild Honey. This is Flower Child. These are 2 of their most popular blushes, and I love them. I mean, that is such a beautiful blush. And then Flower Child, gorgeous. I mean, I love both of those. So I don't travel with this a ton. I don't really know why. I mean, it has a lot of different options in it. I guess it's because it doesn't have like a bronzer in here. It's just, it has the highlight and the blushes, but this is definitely a good one to travel with. I really love this one. This one right here, I'm definitely not getting rid of because it's in my project pan and I'm not going to open it because I don't want to give away my progress. I showed you Opal in my highlighter videos, which is, and I showed you actually the Benefit What's Up, but I really don't want to kind of give away some of my progress because, there'll be a video in another 2 months or so. So actually it'll be a long time. So, but nevertheless, I just did an update video about a month ago now. So definitely make sure and check that out if you haven't seen it, but I will definitely not be getting rid of this one because I'm still working on it in my project. This is in the shade Streak. Part of why I put it in my project is because I don't use it a ton at home. I do travel with this quite a bit because it has a bronzer, a highlight, and a blush in it, so it is really good to travel with. I just needed to use it more at home, so I think I am getting a lot of great use out of it now that it's in my project. Let's look at my glow kits from Anastasia. I love the glow kits. I think that they really are a great value. I don't know about I don't remember how much this one was. This is the collab with Nicole Guerriero, who I love, and I'm really glad I got my hands on this because it was limited edition. This one is really beautiful. It has all these shades right here, and for sure some of these I can't use as highlights. I really can kind of use this side right here. Sometimes this is a little too dark for me, but I can kind of make it work if I mix it with some of the lighter ones. These 2 I definitely can't wear as highlights. This one I can kind of put as a blush topper. This one I can kind of use as a bronzer topper, but I can certainly use them as eyeshadows if I wanted to. I don't really end up doing that a whole lot, but I can. But these highlights I do love, especially these 3. And they are pretty intense and a little bit glittery, but I don't mind that. I like that sometimes. And so this is kind of one that I pull for if I want kind of, a pretty intense highlight. And I do love this. I'm glad that I got my hands on it. So like I said, I think that these are a really good value. These are like $40 a piece, which for 4 really big size highlighters, I think that that's a really good price. And you can take these out, as you can see, and you can put them in a Z palette. Now, you can kind of tell just by looking at this that these shades, especially this one, are too dark for me. This one is a pretty good shade for me. This one, it also works well, but these two I don't. So that's the only drawback to some of these palettes, is that you maybe aren't going to use every single shade. So you have to kind of decide if it's worth it. This one was a limited edition one, and I'm pretty sure you can't get it anymore. It's called That Glow. And this was the more warm toned one. I had kind of kicked myself because I've been more into the cooler toned highlights than the gold ones. And so you'll see what I mean when I get to the next one. But I do like this. I do like these two shades. Again, I don't really use these a whole lot, but these are really pretty. But I do think that I am going to sell this one on Poshmark because it's in really good condition. I did use it, but I didn't use it as much as I should, and I have other highlighters that I like better. I just wasn't pulling for this one. If I was pulling for one of my glow kits, I would go for the Nicole Guerriero one, or I now would pull for this one, which is a newer one to me. So I do think I am going to pass this one on because I just don't get as much use out of it as I thought that I would have when I originally bought it. Now this glow kit here is a newer one. This is in Sugar. I don't know if this is limited edition. I don't think that it is. It's just a newer one. And the reason why I bought this one is because I wanted the shade Starburst. Now, Starburst was limited edition in the other glow kit that came out the same time that glow came out. I don't remember what that one was called that had Starburst in it, but I've heard so much about how people just are in love with Starburst. And so when they came out with this new glow kit that had Starburst in it, I knew that I had to get it because I had been wanting to find Starburst so badly. Marshmallow was in another glow kit that was limited edition. I don't remember what it was called. I think these two shades are just newer to this one. And I love all of these shades. So that's what I love about this glow kit, is that I really do love all of these shades. Marshmallow is a great shade. Oh God, look how gorgeous that is. Just a stunning color. Gumdrop is like kind of duochromy. You can see that there. Oh my gosh, love that. This one is a little bit darker, but I can still get away with it. You know, it'll definitely work well for me, especially in the summer though. And then Starburst, I just love. Like that's the kind of highlight that I'm really going for these days. So I really do love all of these shades. They're such amazing quality. And like I said, you know, $40 for this, which I'm pretty sure that I got this when Ulta was having 20% off. So I got an even better deal on it. But I just think you get a lot of product for that price. So if you are going to especially use all the shades, then these are such a great deal. And I really do love this one. I'm glad that I got it. This little thing here I got as a little sample or gift or something. I think this is from Lancome. This has got to be a sample size. I can't imagine this is a full size, but it's their Blush Subtil palette. I don't know how to say that, sorry. It's in the shade Rose Flesh. So it has a contour, a blush shade, and a highlighter. And so this is kind of cool for travel, though it's really, really tiny. But the thing is, like, this contour shade is like way too light for me. Like, I mean, I'm pretty light, but that's really too light for me. The blush is pretty. It's very, very pink, but it is very pretty. And then the highlight, which it's so hard to get your brush in these tiny little things. The highlight looks really pretty. I really haven't used this much. I think I've used it one time, but like I said, this contour is way too light for me. So I do think that I am going to pass this on. It's a nice little size to just try. And, you know, like I said, it's definitely good for travel, but it is really tiny and I just don't need to use this one. This one over here is by Mally, and you know, you don't hear about Mally a whole lot. And I talked about this actually in my products that lost the hype really quickly and maybe shouldn't have, because Kathleen Lights talked about this when the gold highlight was like super popular. And so you can see that has that there. And they came in like 2 different shades. So it came with the gold highlight in both, but one of them was a more pinky highlight and this was the more peachy toned one. And people just went nuts because she talked about how this was like a dupe for all of those, you know, intense gold highlights. And it's a beautiful shade and it's a beautiful formula. Really soft, and this blush is really pretty too. So this is just one of those things that, I mean, it sold out like immediately. And so I picked it up because I saw there was one left in my Ulta. It was definitely sold out online. And so I picked it up because, you know, I mean, she was talking about it and how great it was. And I agree, it is really great. I don't know why people aren't talking about this anymore. And Mally just doesn't get a ton of attention in general. I don't really know why, but her products are clearly pretty nice. They have changed this a little bit They still sell it, but it's a different format, a different packaging, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I can't speak to the formula on that one, but at least on this one, it's really, really nice. And even though I don't use this kind of gold highlight a ton, I did get rid of my Gilded Honey, which is very similar. And I like that, you know, this is one that I could travel with because it has a blush and a highlight in it. And I really do like this. It needs more attention for sure, but I'm not quite ready to part with this one. This one down here is one of my favorite things. This is by Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Film Star Bronze and Glow. So it has a like contour shade and a highlight. I love this. It is really, really pricey, but I do really think it's worth it. This shade right here is so nice, and it is such a great formula. I really do wish that they sold this as a single because, I mean, I would repurchase this, but I'm not in love with this highlight. I certainly have used it. You can see that I've used it quite a bit because I'll use this, you know, when I pull this out, but it's just not my favorite. It's a pretty natural highlight, so if you like that sort of thing, then you'll definitely like this. I mean, you can see it's really pretty. It's just not the one that I really pull for a ton. It's one that I wear when I want something pretty natural, and it is great for that. You know, I can't really say anything bad about it. It's just not, you know, in my top favorites. So I just wish that they sold this separately because I love this so much and I like this. So I would be sort of hesitant to spend the money to repurchase this whole thing if I were to ever finish it, of course. But this I would repurchase in a second. So I don't know. I have kind of mixed feelings about that. I wish it wasn't a duo, but I mean, it is a great product in general. And the packaging is beautiful too, just beautiful. Sometimes her packaging can be a little cheap for what you're spending, but this one I think is really, really pretty. This one I wasn't sure if I should have included in my highlight video because it is a palette. It has 3 highlights in it, but it is just highlighter. So I don't know, but either way, I'm including it here. This is pretty new to me. I've only used it a number of times because it is definitely very new to me. I don't even know why I keep this little brush in here. This is Drew Barrymore's line. Sorry about that. It's now being sold at Ulta, which is great. Ulta doesn't carry all of their products, which is a little bit annoying. They have their own like exclusive Flower products, but some of the stuff that you can get at Walmart from Flower, because Flower used to be exclusive to Walmart, and some of the things that they sell at Walmart, like the beauty sponge, you can't get at Ulta, which is a little bit annoying. I don't know if they're going to change that. I really hope that they do. But this is something that you can get at Ulta, just so you know. Oh, they're so soft, these highlights. They're really, really soft. So, like this pinky one, it looks darker in there. So, like, I can definitely make that one work. And the gold, like, same thing. They look darker in here than they are in real life. Let me show you this one. They're all beautiful. So I use all of these. This was definitely a good purchase because I love it, but also because I really can use all of these. You know, I like to mix them. I like to mix, like, not necessarily all 3, but like the gold and the light one, the pink one and the light one. Like and then I can also use them on their own, but they are just beautiful. The formula is really creamy and soft, and they really do melt into the skin. So I definitely recommend this one. It's a little more pricey as far as like drugstore is concerned because Flower is a drugstore brand, but it's a little higher in price than a lot of drugstore things. But I think the quality really makes it worth it. All right, so this one is by NARS. This is the Stephen Klein collection. So this was a limited edition collection, and I love this. This really does have everything all in one, which is kind of nice. The only thing it doesn't have is a like shimmery highlighter because it has your Laguna bronzer, which is one of my favorites. If you watch my channel, you'll know that. Then it has a nice contour shade and a nice matte highlight shade. So you can see it's a matte one, but it's really, really nice. I do like that. It's a little bit dark for me sometimes, but it is kind of nice. Like if I want something to set my primer, my eye primer, or even my concealer, and I just don't need it to be like a super highlighted effect. That is really nice. And then it has some beautiful blush shades here. I mean, 4 great blushes. So I'll tell you the shades. Some of them are permanent, some of them are not. So there's Robotic, Blasphemy, Luster, and Dolce Vita going this way. So I'm pretty sure these 2, Robotic and Blasphemy, I think that those were limited edition in this. I know that Luster and Dolce Vita are not limited edition. So these are great, great shades. They're all really beautiful. So this is a great all-in-one palette, again, except for the shimmery highlight. However, the only reason that I don't typically travel with this is because it's pretty heavy. So that's really the only drawback, but the packaging is so pretty and it's a great face palette. So I definitely will be keeping that one. All right, so the one that I'm getting rid of is this one right here. So these both, let me just show you these both at the same time. So these both were part of the Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop collection. So when Champagne Pop first came out, in case you don't know, just briefly, it was a limited edition highlighter and it just blew up. I mean, people went nuts for it. And so then this came out. I'm pretty sure this was next. So they came out with this palette. So of course I was like, well, I'm not gonna be able to get Champagne Pop again. So I'm gonna get this palette. So you can see Champagne Pop is in the middle. It's beautiful. I love it. But then you have Pearl, which at the time was a new shade, which again became permanent later. And there's Blush Copper, which I think was already available at the time. Now, what I don't get about this, well, there are a couple things. First of all, this packaging really annoys me because like there's so much wasted space here. This could be much smaller. So that's number one. Number two, like nobody can wear all three of these. I mean, this is really like, what am I going to put this on top of? Like a blush? Not really. Like it's copper. And this, honestly, like I'm pretty fair, but this is way too light for me. I have it in the liquid and that works for me just in a different, because it's just used differently. But as an actual powder highlight, no, it just really is way too light. It looks straight up white. I mean, you can see that. It's straight up white. So, and you can, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I've used like these two because I've like mixed these. Like that was kind of the only way I could wear it. This one, like, I don't think I ever used Blush Copper. Like maybe once, I don't know. Like how would I use that? So it just doesn't make any sense. You know, I get that they were trying to put out Champagne Pop with two other shades and kind of cater to everybody, but like, but anybody who buys this can only wear one or two of the shades if they're lucky. I mean, so I don't know what I was thinking. I mean, I know what I was thinking. I was thinking I wouldn't be able to get Champagne Pop again, and I loved it, and so I wanted to get it in this palette. But now I'm kind of kicking myself that I did because I am going to get rid of this. I just don't use it. I mean, first of all, now Champagne Pop is permanent, so that's number one. Number two, I have it in a single, and I still have plenty of product in that. And then I have it in this palette. So I just do not need this, and it annoys me that they kept kind of taking our money and then they came out with it as a permanent item. So whatever, it is a beautiful highlight, so I can't hate them for that. Now this one I am definitely going to keep because this one I'm glad that I got. It is really, really beautiful. First of all, the packaging. This packaging is beautiful. I mean, this mirror, I don't really want to blind you, but like this is a huge mirror that you could really use to get ready. So I do really like that. And the shades in here, sorry, this is kind of like really shiny in here, but so you have Champagne Pop, you have a really big size of Champagne Pop, and then they came out with this new shade Prosecco Pop, which is more of a gold, and I can use both of these. I really can. I don't know if I would like repurchase Prosecco Pop, but I do like it. It is really pretty. And then these blush shades are gorgeous. This one especially, oh, just stunning. And I love these two as well. So I love this one. I'm definitely glad that I got this one. Do I need another Champagne Pop? Obviously I do not. But again, at the time I thought that I was never going to be able to get it after these palettes, which maybe was silly of me, but either way, this one I am going to keep because I do really enjoy this one. And then the last one, if you've watched my channel, you know that I am going to keep this. I talked about this in 2 different videos. I talked about this in products that lost the hype too quickly, and I talked about this in the limited edition tag. This is one that I'm really glad that I got. You can't get this anymore. The packaging is beautiful. Oh, and if you couldn't tell, this is the Urban Decay and Gwen Stefani blush palette, I guess is what it's called. Does it say blush palette? Yeah, blush palette. So again, another really nice mirror and great shades in here. I think I prefer the blushes more than anything else. This can kind of be like a bronzer, so that's kind of cool. And then you've got your 3 blush shades. This one in particular is, this is, like I would have gotten this palette just for the shade. It's so, so pretty. These highlights are pretty. They're definitely like soft and whatever, but they're just not super like intense. I mean, you can see they're really, really pretty. I more use these though as like, you know, on top of my blushes or something like that. But I do really, really love this palette. I mean, look at this blush here. Okay, look at how pretty that is. Oh, gorgeous. And that would look good on so many different skin tones. You know, you can kind of sheer it out if you're more fair, and you can definitely, you know, build that up if you have a darker skin tone. beautiful. So I am really glad that I got this palette. Definitely not getting rid of it. All right, everyone, so that is it for my face palette collection and declutter. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know what you'd like to see next in this collection and declutter series. I definitely want to go through everything in my collection. It's kind of that time. It's spring, so I'm doing a little spring cleaning in general in my life, and I really have not done a whole lot of decluttering in my life. So it kind of got to that point with my collection. I just know that I needed to do that, and it doesn't necessarily mean getting rid of a ton of things, but it just means getting rid of things that are not being used the way that they should. And by the way, I'm not going to just throw these things in the trash. They're either going to go to family and friends. They may be sold on my Poshmark. Again, these are all things that I bought with my own money. So they will go on Poshmark if they're in good condition, or they'll be donated if they are still sticking around after those two things. So just know they're not just being thrown away, of course. If you like this video, please make sure and give it a big thumbs up. That helps out my channel so much. If you are not subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. I would love it if you stuck around, and I really hope to see you next time. Bye.